Trusting God is easy when life is calm. It is harder when everything is uncertain, when doors close, when prayers feel unanswered, when the future is unclear. If you are in that place right now, know this: Jesus understands what it means to trust God in the dark. Trust does not mean you understand the plan. Trust means you believe God is good, even when you cannot see how. Jesus trusted the Father. Jesus lived a life of complete trust in God the Father. He trusted when he was misunderstood. He trusted when he was rejected. He trusted when he was betrayed by those closest to him. In the wilderness, Jesus trusted God instead of temptation. In his ministry, he trusted God instead of human approval. And in his final hours, he trusted God instead of saving himself. Christ shows us that trust is not weakness. Trust is obedience born from love. Trust in Gethsemane. The greatest picture of trust is found in the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus prayed with a heavy heart. He felt fear. He felt sorrow. He felt the weight of what was coming. He said, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." Even Jesus asked for relief. But then he said words that changed everything. "Not my will, but yours be done." That is true trust. Trust does not deny pain. Trust surrenders control. Trust through the cross. The cross was not easy. It was painful. It was humiliating. It was silent. From the outside, it looked like God had abandoned Jesus. But the cross was not the absence of God's plan. It was the fulfillment of it. Sometimes God allows pain not to destroy us, but to save us. If Jesus trusted God on the cross, you can trust God in this season of your life. When God is silent, there will be moments when God feels silent, when answers do not come, when waiting feels unbearable. Silence does not mean God has left. Silence is often where faith grows deepest. Trusting God means believing he is working, even when you cannot see it yet. Closing, choose, trust. You may not understand what God is doing, but you can trust who God is. He is faithful. He is loving. He is present. If God could turn the cross into resurrection, he can turn your struggle into something beautiful. Let go of fear. Hold on to faith. Trust God because he never fails. Glory to God for all things.